Welcome to Mind Haven, where the fire burns softly, the rain falls gently, and every story has the power to change the way we see ourselves. Take a slow breath, allow your shoulders to relax. Leave the weight of today outside this room for the next few minutes. There is nothing you need to fix, nothing you need to chase, only a quiet story, and perhaps a new way of understanding yourself. Tonight's story is inspired by one of the most beloved books ever written about purpose and destiny, The Alchemist. It tells the story of a young shepherd who leaves behind everything familiar in search of a treasure he believes is waiting somewhere beyond the horizon. But as his journey unfolds, he discovers that the greatest treasure was never gold. It was the person he became along the way. So settle in, and let's begin. Have you ever had the feeling that your life could have been different? Not necessarily richer, not more famous, just different. Maybe there was a dream you quietly left behind, a business you wanted to start, a country you wanted to live in, a skill you longed to learn, or simply a version of yourself you always imagined becoming. At first, the dream felt alive, but then life happened. Responsibilities arrived, bills needed paying, people offered advice. Some well-intentioned, some driven by their own fears. Slowly, the dream became quieter, not because it disappeared, but because the noise around it became louder. And one day, you stopped asking what you truly wanted. You started asking only what seemed possible. That is how many people spend years, sometimes decades, living a life that feels safe, yet strangely empty. The tragedy isn't that they failed. The tragedy is that they never truly began. And perhaps, without realizing it, many of us are living exactly that story today. In the next part, we'll discover why fear is so convincing, and why the safest path is often the one that quietly steals the life we were meant to live. There is something curious about fear. It rarely announces itself. It doesn't usually say, "Don't follow your dream." Instead, it whispers something that sounds far more reasonable. Maybe next year. Wait until you have more money. You're too old. You're too young. Someone else could do it better. And because these thoughts sound logical, we believe them. Day after day, year after year, fear slowly disguises itself as wisdom. But what if the biggest risk isn't failing? What if the biggest risk is reaching the end of your life and wondering, what would have happened if I had simply tried? In The Alchemist, the greatest lesson isn't that the journey is easy. It's that every meaningful journey demands courage before it offers certainty. No map, no guarantees. Only the willingness to take the first step. Think back to a time when you learned something new, perhaps riding a bicycle, changing careers, or speaking in front of a room full of people. Before you succeeded, there was uncertainty, there were mistakes. There were moments when turning back felt easier. Yet every step taught you something the safe path never could. Life works the same way. Purpose isn't discovered by waiting. It is uncovered by moving. Not through giant leaps, but through small, consistent acts of courage. A single conversation, a single application, a single page written, a single decision to begin. Those tiny moments, repeated over time, can quietly reshape an entire life. And perhaps the voice you've been waiting to hear has never been loud at all. Perhaps it has always been that quiet whisper, inviting you to take just one more step. In the next part, we'll explore why life's unexpected setbacks are often not signs to stop, but signs that you're growing into the person you're meant to become. We often believe that the purpose of a journey is to arrive, to reach the destination, to achieve the goal, to finally say, "I made it." But life has a gentle way of teaching something different. Sometimes, the destination isn't what changes us, the journey does. Think about the greatest challenges you've faced. At the time, they probably felt unfair, painful, perhaps even impossible. You may have wished they had never happened, and yet, if you look back carefully, you'll often find that those very moments shaped your character more than your victories ever could. They taught patience, resilience, compassion, humility. They revealed strengths you never knew you possessed. In The Alchemist, every obstacle Santiago encounters seems like a reason to turn back. He loses money, he feels alone. He doubts himself again and again, but each setback quietly prepares him for what comes next. Without those hardships, he would never become the person capable of finding the treasure he seeks. Maybe that's true for us as well. Perhaps the disappointment you experienced, the opportunity that slipped away, the door that unexpectedly closed, wasn't simply an ending. Perhaps it was making room for a path you couldn't yet see. Life rarely unfolds in a straight line. It twists. It surprises us. It asks us to trust even when we can't see the whole picture. And while we can't always choose what happens to us, we can choose who we become because of it. Every challenge offers a quiet invitation to grow instead of giving up, to learn instead of becoming bitter, to continue instead of standing still. Because purpose isn't something waiting at the finish line. It's something that slowly reveals itself as we continue walking. And in the final part, we'll discover the greatest treasure hidden within all of us, and why the life you've been searching for may have been closer than you ever imagined. The purpose you never knew was guiding your life. Part 4, the treasure was never far away. There is a beautiful idea, one that quietly changes everything. We spend so much of our lives searching for happiness, searching for success, searching for purpose, always believing that somewhere, far beyond where we are today, life is finally waiting for us. But what if we've been looking in the wrong direction? In The Alchemist, Santiago discovers something extraordinary. The treasure he traveled so far to find had been closer than he ever imagined, yet he could never have discovered it without making the journey, because the journey wasn't about finding gold, it was about finding himself. Perhaps that's true for us too. Purpose is not a destination you suddenly arrive at. It is something you uncover. One choice, one lesson, one act of courage at a time. You don't need to have every answer today. You don't need the perfect plan. You don't even need to know exactly where the road will lead. You only need the courage to take the next step, because every meaningful life is built one ordinary day at a time, one conversation, one decision, one small act of faith, and maybe, years from now, you'll look back and realize the life you always hoped for didn't begin with a dramatic moment. It began with a quiet decision to finally listen to the voice inside you. So tonight, as the rain continues to fall and the fire slowly fades, ask yourself one gentle question. What is one small step I can take tomorrow toward the life I truly want? You don't have to change your entire future overnight. Just take one step, then another, and trust that, in time, the path will reveal itself. Until then, take care of your mind, be kind to yourself, keep learning, keep growing, and I'll see you here again at Mind Haven. Goodbye.